Okay, it's that middle of the week episode, a Hump Day Wednesday. I am Mike Russell from Music Radio Creative. Let's have the lower third. Yes, lovely. And all this week covering podcast production and editing techniques that can help you improve the sound of your podcast. And of course, we do podcast production here at Music Radio Creative every day, so I try to bring you the best tips possible. Now, we're live until the end of this week, and then next week, you're going to have some pre-recorded videos going out with some more podcast editing tips and tricks. And the reason for that is because I won't be here on the Isle of Wight in the UK, but I'm traveling to the USA with Isabella, my wife and business partner here at Music Radio Creative, and I'm going to be speaking at Social Media Marketing World 2018. I really cannot wait to be there and meet so many fantastic people from the world of podcasting, YouTube, online blogging, social media marketing. It's going to be fantastic. Hope I can join you too. If you can't get out to San Diego, at least look into getting the virtual ticket, and you can do that at mrc.fm/SMMW. Right, over into Adobe Audition, where I'm going to show you how to clean up a noisy podcast recording. This is such a common issue with podcasting. Not so much if you are podcasting from your home studio, because hopefully you follow some good advice, you've got a nice microphone, a nice mixing desk, you've got at least some sound treatment around you, and you can make things sound good. But sometimes someone will send you some audio, and there's nothing you can do but do your best to clean it up. So let's have a listen to this.
Face it. The only time most people get it.
Okay, first thing I'm noticing is it's too quiet. Even though I've got the fader on my mixing desk right the way up, this is an issue because it's peaking at around just under minus 12 dB. So I'm going to select the whole thing and normalize it. It's a great way to get a bass sounding level for your audio and get it peaking at just below 0 dB. Now let's have another listen.
Face it. The only time most people get excited about advertising is during the Super Bowl. Every other day of the year, we either try to tune it out or actively avoid it.
Right, you can hear a couple of issues there. First of all, no doubt you can hear this kind of white noise that's going on. That's really loud. Let's make that louder so we can really hear it. It's almost like someone's got a wind machine in the background. And also I noticed the audio was going wobbly around here.
We either try to tune it out or...
Around here, let's see whether I can really isolate that and play you what I'm talking about. Right, did you hear that little audio wobble? Let's zoom right in and see if we can find that. And if we actually zoom further and closer, let's just look at the waveform in detail here. So what I'm noticing is not everything is equal here. If you can see, let's just go back a little bit in time.
Try to tune it out.
And there's another kind of wobble there as well.
Tune it out.
It's around there. Let's again zoom in and have a little look. And you can see that, yeah, the audio is just ever so slightly off on one channel to the other, which is causing that kind of issue. So what I'm going to do first and foremost, as this is mono speech, whoops, I'm making that waveform really small. I'm doing that by scrolling my magic mouse, by the way, over here on the dB meter. I am going to solo one side of the audio, copy it, and then solo the opposite side, delete everything and paste. Now I've pasted the left channel into the right channel, and now I should eliminate that kind of sound.
We know how important it is to get our message out. We either try to tune it out or actively avoid it.
Yeah, so I've lost the kind of stereo kind of weirdness there. Now what I need to do is eliminate that horrible kind of sound. So the first way I'd go about this is capture a noise print of this, but I really want to understand what's going on under the hood here. I'm going to open up the spectral frequency display. Like that, you can hit Shift and D. Wow. I'm telling you now, this is going to be difficult audio to clean up. I'm going to try my best. And the reason I say that is look at the noise, okay? On the waveform view, it really doesn't look too bad. It looks like it's just a very low amplitude kind of hiss. But when you look here at the noise, it is literally noise across all frequencies. It literally is like white noise. Let me just show you what white noise looks like. And this would be maybe a recording from an old tape machine or something, or a mixing desk that wasn't set up correctly that had a lot of hiss on it. So I'm just going to go into generate noise, and let's see down here. This is white noise. Actually, it's more like pink noise. Yes, see? Pink noise. See, that's the pink noise I've just generated there, and that's the pink noise there that we're working with. So I just generated that noise, and let's listen to the noise here. Very, very similar. This is going to be a tough one to eradicate, but I'm going to try with two methods. First of all, noise reduction, capturing noise print, clicking OK to that, and then zooming out. When you capture a noise print in a podcast, you do not want to highlight any of the speech, just audio with the noise in it. Then you can go back into noise reduction restoration, noise reduction process. Let's open up the preview window here and have a look. So you can see it's wiping out some of that audio, but not all of it.
Face it. The only time most people get excited about advertising...
And because it's really working hard, you're getting that kind of reverby, kind of washed out sound. Spectral frequency decay rate, let's bring that up to 100%. And you'll see it brings all the audio back in here in the preview. Now if I pull that down to 0%, it's going to be really aggressive and get rid of lots of that noise.
Face it. The only time most people get excited about advertising is...
And actually, that's really not too bad. We can choose to increase the noise reduction level as well.
Face it. The only...
Bit more.
Face it. The only time most people get excited about advertising...
And that's really not too bad. We could reduce by a bigger amount, 32 dB.
Face it. The only time most people get excited about advertising is during the Super Bowl. Every other day of the year, we either try to tune it out or...
Okay, that's not too bad. Let's just switch it on and off.
Face it. The only time most people get excited about advertising is during the Super Bowl. Every other day of the year, we either try to tune it out or actively avoid it.
That's a heck of a lot better. Just show you what happens if you turn smoothing up.
Face it. The only time most people get excited about advertising is during the Super Bowl. Every other day of the year...
And width,
face it.
transition width.
The only time most people get excited about advertising is during the Super Bowl.
Now we're really starting to get somewhere. Let's just apply that. What you're not going to lose in this particular effect are those kind of weird computer sounds, like sounding like a sci-fi computer booting up. Let's just normalize this. You could really use that in some sci-fi kind of movie. So you're left with a sound like that, but it's better than the hiss we had before.
Face it. The only time most people get excited about advertising is during the Super Bowl.
And what I might actually do now is actually just highlight that noise itself and try and run a second capture noise print. Yes, I want to capture that print, and I might run a second kind of wave over it. Again, noise reduction, trying to eliminate now that weird computer sound. So.
Face it. The only time most people get excited about advertising is during the Super Bowl. Every other day of the year, we either try to tune it out or actively avoid it. As pharma marketers, we know how important it is to...
So that helps a little bit, but not awfully. And then finally, once you've got this kind of sounding half decent, you can actually go in and maybe go and EQ it up a little bit using Parametric EQ, just to make things sound a little bit better.
Face it. The only time most people get excited about advertising is during the Super Bowl. Every other day of the year, we either try to tune it out or...
And you can remove frequencies too.
Face it. The only time most people get excited about advertising is during the Super Bowl. Every other day of the year, we either try to tune it out or actively avoid it.
And as you can see, most of the problem now is happening below 1K, so I'm going to try and roll off.
Face it. The only time most people get excited about advertising is during the Super Bowl.
So again, EQing can help just get rid of any of the, because you can now see from spectral frequency that a lot of that remaining noise is down below sort of, well, certainly below 1K, but below 3K. See here, it's particularly showing. So that's one way. I'm just going to try one more way because I had like a little bit of inspiration. So remember, we went from...
Face it. The only time most...
We went to that from this.
Face it. The only time...
Pretty crazy, right? Another thing that's available in later versions of Adobe Audition is the fantastic sound remover process. If I learn the sound model of this, click OK to that, double click and go into sound remover process. Let's try this one instead, see how that sounds.
Face it. The only time...
Wow, she sounds like an alien. Let's go for a preset here. Let's try with maximum, see what we get. Wait for it to work. It's magic.
Face it.
Enhance for speech will sometimes cure problems with your speaker sounding like a Dalek or some kind of alien. Let's try running that over it.
Face it. The only time most people get excited about advertising is during the Super Bowl.
You see, this one is a lot harder to use. So really you have to experiment. Sometimes the noise reduction process works better than the sound remover, and sometimes it's the other way around. One more thing you might want to try, especially when you've got like pink noise or white noise hiss, is this hiss reduction process. And I'm just going to have a play with this. So let's put it on high.
Face it, the only time most people get excited.
But unfortunately, it's really messing about with the speech. So if we again, we'll just play and capture the noise floor of something with no speech in, like that. You see, now it sets it up for you. And let's play that over everything. Look at the preview here.
Face it, the only time most people get excited about advertising is during the Super Bowl. Every other day of the year, we either try to tune it out or actively avoid it. As pharma marketers, we know how important it is to get our message out there.
So again, that's sounding really reverby and washed out. What I might be tempted to do is run the noise remover and then finally a very small pass of hiss reduction afterwards to even it out. But really, it's down to you to have a play with it. Let me know how you get on with noise reduction. What is bothering you? Let me know in the comments to this video, and go and subscribe at youtube.com/musicradiocreative. I'd love to answer your question, so ask it over in the community at community.musicradiocreative.com. And we'd love to help you with the production of your podcast. So if you produce a regular podcast and you're looking at to outsource all of that production, making things sound good, ID3 tagging and getting ready to upload to your media host, we can take care of all of that for you here at Music Radio Creative. Just head on over to musicradiocreative.com/podcast-production. That's musicradiocreative.com/podcast-production. It'd be fantastic to work with you on your podcast.
Music Radio Creative.